Ciao a tutti and hello everyone. I know it has been a long time since I posted my last video. I was very busy at the university, but now I took a breath and I came here because I realized I never talked about my research topic. This is my first video also in English. I would like to tell you why I'm making this video in English. As I told you, my program here in the university, is an international program, so theoretically we all have to talk in English. So this is also a good practice for me because when we do the workshops, the reunions and everything, the meetings, I have always to communicate in English. I have always to explain my research in English, and that's why I'm recording this video in English. I hope you all can understand. Of course, I have a huge Brazilian accent, but I think I was able to communicate a bit. Thank you! So, for those who don't know, I am a PhD student here at the University of Catania. And my program is entitled Agriculture, Food and Environmental Science. So far, the title of my thesis, because as you know, the title of the thesis can change, is called Biofortification of Vegetables. So what is biofortification? What is this word? What it means? The biofortification is born as an answer to the malnutrition problem. And I think many of you, as I at the beginning, always thought the malnutrition is something that affects only underdeveloping and developing countries, the countries that live in poverty. But studying a bit, I discovered that there is more than one type of malnutrition. There's a specific type of malnutrition that we call hidden hunger. The hidden hunger is the deficiency or even the insufficient intake of micronutrients, microminerals, and the biofortification can be a strategy to fight this problem. So basically, the biofortification is the process of increasing the content of a mineral or of a nutrient in a specific food, in a plant. In my case, that I study vegetables, in the vegetables. But helping to fight the malnutrition problems is not the only goal of the biofortification. Biofortification can also be used as a tool to create nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals are the food that is good for the human health. That it's good to improve your diet with compounds that are good for the health. As example, tomatoes are rich in lycopene. And if you create a tomato that has even more lycopene that can prevent some kinds of cancers, it is good for human health, right? So this is also one of the goals of the biofortification. The creation of a product, of a premium quality product, of a product of an enhanced quality. One thing that I would like to explain is the difference between biofortification and fortification, because sometimes when I say I work with biofortification, people assume that it is fortification. The difference is that fortification is a process that is made after the harvest of the plants. And the example I can say to you is the wheat. So many countries that suffer from anemia distribute for the population a kind of flour with the addition of iron. They add this iron after is in the industrializing process, and this is fortification. Or for example, margarine, the margarine that is rich in phytosteroids. This one is good for decrease the bad cholesterol. But when we are talking about fresh products that are made to be consumed fresh, as the vegetables, we cannot do fortification. We cannot add these compounds later after the harvesting. And there are some people that have tried in the past, for example, harvesting the lettuce and emerge in a solution with some kind of element, with a mineral. But at the end, the addition of this mineral was minimal, so it didn't work. It wasn't efficient. For these kind of products made for fresh consumption, the only option is the biofortification. And that's my research topic. That's what I like to explain to you. Biofortification is when, in the process of growing this crop, I am adding this mineral. So the plant grows and absorbs these minerals, these nutrients, and at the end, when I harvest, the edible part of these plants have a concentration that is higher of a compound that the plant already has, or a new compound, a new mineral that is not natural for the plant. I explain. The biofortification can be applied in 3 ways. I will explain to you. I study just one way, but I will explain the other 2. The first one is through transgenics. So I manipulate the genetic part of the plant and I create a new plant with a higher concentration of the substance, the compound that I want. This is one. What is the limitation of this strategy? Many countries, as here in Italy, transgenics are forbidden. And still the population faces a bit of prejudice against the transgenic. The second methodology is the traditional breeding. So I do the breeding and I create a new variety, a new type of plant that has this compound in a higher composition. The problem with vegetables is that they change the varieties every year. It's very fast. So today I'm eating a variety of tomato, of lettuce. In 2 years, this variety is no longer in use, and all the work that it's very long and costs a lot, all the work that I did to select that kind of plant that has a higher composition, it's lost because the variety is no longer in use. And we have the third method, that is the one that I studied, that we call agronomic practices. What are the agronomic practices? It's when in the growing of these crops, I'm applying these fertilizers, these compounds, and at the end, when I harvest this crop, the goal is to obtain a crop richer with a higher concentration of the substance, of the compounds of my interest, of the interest for the human health. So these agronomic practices, the application of these fertilizers can be done by 2 ways. We can do it by the roots, applying in the roots, or applying in the leaves as a spray. In the roots, we can do in a nutrient solution when the plants are growing in the greenhouse, or we can apply in the soil. In the soil, it's more problematic because of the specific pH of the soil, and most of the fertilizers are not soluble. So the plants are not always able to absorb these fertilizers from the soil. The second problem is if we apply this directly in the soil, we can have problems with contamination of the soil. So it's not very efficient. On the other hand, if we apply these fertilizers in a nutrient solution, because the plants are grown inside the greenhouse in a substrate, so we can have a higher efficiency because the plant absorbs everything that we apply. And the second modality is by the leaves. We apply the sprays in the leaves, and by the cuticles, by the pores, the leaves absorb these particles, these minerals that we are applying, and by phloematic movement, the minerals translocate to the other parts of the plant. So if we apply in the leaves, the leaves absorb, repeating, the leaves absorb and translocate for the rest of the plant. If we apply in the roots, the root translocates via xylema for the rest of the plant. Everything is very complicated when studying this because we have a lot of aspects to take into consideration, depending on the plant, depending on the mineral, depending on the chemical form, depending on the concentration, depending on the time of application, on the frequency of application, the efficiency of the biofortification can be different. So basically, I'm studying a lot of things, so you can understand when I say I'm overwhelmed with a lot of work. So I will give you an example of a project that of one of my experiments that it's going on in this moment. In this moment, I'm treating tomatoes with selenium in the form of sodium selenate and with a chelate form of iron. So these are two experiments at the moment, and I'm in the process of harvest. So I go to the field, I go to the greenhouse every week, two times a week. I see how the crop is going. I apply this price. I control if the solution with the iron is good, how the plant is absorbing and how the plant is behaving. I already saw that the leaves are some dark spots that indicate that the iron is in the leaves, and that's not good for me because I don't want the plant absorbing this iron and translocating to the leaves because we don't eat the leaves. I want these plants to absorb the iron and translocate to the fruits. So in this moment, I'm taking all these tomatoes from the greenhouse, I'm taking to the lab, and I'm waiting, I'm analyzing the quantity of sugar, the yield, everything, and I'm also grinding. I'm drying and then grinding everything. So later I can analyze by ITP the quantity of iron and of selenium that I can found in these fruits. Hopefully I will find a higher concentration, and this will mean that my research worked. So far I can only show you the tomatoes that I'm working. These are the cherry tomatoes, and they are very good because I'm trying to. So as I was saying, they are tasty. The question is, are they richer in iron and selenium? Because this is the focus of my research. So doing a PhD is this. It's my research work, and is a constant worry of all the things that I and my professors and everything invested, and even the Italian government, everything was invested to create this product, but they are actually higher in iron content and selenium content. I will discover this in the next months after I analyze the mineral content. It is innovative because it's a new thing, but there are already, here in Europe at least, some commercial products that already are rich in this substance. We have potatoes with iodine, we have carrots with iodine. I will show you here some examples. And I hope somehow you could all understand a bit of what I do in the university. I expect in 1 year, if I finish and if everything goes well, I expect to tell you the results of my research. It will be a pleasure to share with everyone the results of all the work I'm doing here. So that's it. That's what I have to share with you about my research topic, about my PhD. If you are interested in knowing more about biofortification, about my PhD topic, you can write a comment, you can make a question, you can just leave a like, whatever you think it's appropriate. If you're interested in knowing more about how was my process as a Brazilian entering Italian university, I have other videos that I explain. You can check this out. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. And